Hello, my name is Dan with HikersReview.com, and today we're going to be doing a quick review on the Jetboil. This is the Flashboil Personal Cook system. A couple of things I want to point out before we get started is that they do give you a nice little handy loop here, perfect for holding your spoon. Now, if this is not going to work for you, there's also a pour lid where you can insert your spoon and have it stick out. What that does is help keep all your cook gear together. So if you're in a bear country area, you can go ahead and store it nice and tight, throw it in your bear bag. You don't have to worry about all your parts falling out. Now, one of the handy things about the Jetboil is everything actually is held within its own container here. Inside the pot, you're going to notice a max fill line, which this here will hold roughly 1 liter. It does have a max fill line of 2 cups, but I will occasionally go above and beyond that. When I am making coffee, I'll fill it to the brim, throw in my coffee tea bags, leave it simmer while I'm packing up camp before I head out on the trail. Now, to pack this up, you're going to go ahead and you're going to take your small 100-gram fuel canister, drop that in the bottom. Make sure that you take that out if you're going to be flying anywhere. You got your pot stand, so that if you have somebody who's going to be joining you that does not have a Jetboil system, you can go ahead and throw this on top of your burner, and you're going to be able to use almost any pot that's on the market. Now, this is something that I typically don't bring with. It's just extra weight, but for this demonstration I want to make sure I showed you guys exactly how that works. Alright, so then you go ahead and slide that in down over the top. You see how that fits around the edge of that fuel canister. Then you have your canister stand. Now, if you're using one of the smaller canisters, you're definitely going to want to bring this with. If you have a larger canister, a lot of times I will leave this at home because that base is large enough that it does keep it pretty sturdy. Just go ahead and drop that in, and they'll fit nicely around the top of that canister. And then you have your burner, which goes on top. What that does is it helps protect your little electrode here that helps generate that spark, keeps that lasting longer. One complaint you do hear about these stoves is the igniter will eventually stop working for you, but as long as you protect that, maybe clean it off a little bit once in a while, you're never going to run into a problem. What you're going to want to do is you're going to flip that handle in right there, slide that down in there, and everything fits nice and compact. Go ahead and throw your lid on it. There you go. You got your Jetboil all packed up. Overall, I'm very happy with this. It comes in, right around 16 ounces, 18 ounces, depending on which model you have. They do offer a titanium version, which is a little bit more expensive and does help lighten your load. And then you have to make sure you take in consideration that fuel that you're bringing with. I'm going to go ahead and get some water boiling for lunch today. What you're going to want to do is you're going to snap that down. It's going to fit nicely around that whole ridge. It's going to be able to slide around easily. Sometimes you get some other off-brand fuel that will be a little bit tighter, as well as the outside clips for your larger canisters. You'll notice that you have to put a lot of pressure on it to get it to snap in. Don't worry, this is some really durable plastic, so unless you're in freezing temperatures, you shouldn't have to worry about these breaking on you. So go ahead and pull that off. Make sure that you flip this out, otherwise you're going to be taking this apart to go ahead and get that back together. Like any normal butane stove, you just twist that on. Set your pot stand to the side. You're not going to be using that with this system. And then they have these nice little grooves here and on the inside here. Make sure those match up. Set it down. When I'm cooking, a lot of times I won't lock it tight, but it does allow you to lock it tight, where you're going to be able to hold it upside down, move it around, and you're not going to have a problem with it falling off. Alright, so I went ahead and I filled it up with water. Now, to get it started, turn it, you'll hear the gas coming out. Go ahead and just click the starter until she starts. Almost sounds a little rocket engine taking off there. And what you're going to do is you're going to leave that go for roughly 2 to 3 minutes, depending on how cold it is. Today it is roughly 35 degrees outside, so it's fairly chilly. It's going to take some additional time. But to make sure that your water's boiling, they've added this nice little gauge on the side. So as you see the water getting warmer, you'll see a yellow bar moving up through this flame. Once it reaches to the top, you technically have boiling water. If you're making a freeze-dried meal, it never hurts to leave it go just a couple extra seconds to make sure that the water is hot enough to rehydrate all your food. So I'm going to go ahead and just let this go and check back in on this in 2 minutes. Alright, as you can see here, we're starting to get a little bit of yellow coming up. It's been roughly 1.5 minutes, so it's boiling pretty quick. We've got a solid 2 cups of water in there, and as it continues to get warmer and warmer, you're going to see some more steam coming out of the top of the hole here, and we should be ready for making our food in the next minute or so. Now it's been about another 30 seconds or so, and you can see that the flame has made it to the top. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give it another quick second or two just to make sure that we get it real nice and hot for our freeze-dried meal that we're eating today. So as this continues to go, you're going to want to go very carefully. Turn your gas off. Then go ahead and twist the pot, lift it up, and then go ahead and add it to your freeze-dried meal. Thanks for watching. I'm Dan with HikersReview.com, and this has been a review on the Jetboil Flashboil Personal Cooking System.